Captain RTV, the trumpet of hope. Captain RTV, Karubeta kamwe hoko. Karubeta kamwe hoko. Captain RTV, the trumpet of hope. Captain RTV, Karubeta kamwe hoko. Karubeta kamwe hoko.
Biblia inasema kila kiumbe kilicho na uhai na kilisifu jina lake Bwana. Siku ya leo ungama pamoja nami, tumwambie Bwana unastahili kupokea sifa zetu, kupokea utukufu wetu, hata pia na heshima. Haleluya. Wastahili sifa na utukufu kutoka moyoni mwangu. Maana wewe peke yako Yesu ndiwe wastahili. Viumbe vinne vyenye uhai pia vinasema inua mikono pamoja na misema sifa zote, utukufu, heshima na nguvu. Ewe Yesu, pokea sifa. Ewe Yesu, pokea sifa. Sema pokea sifa zote. Inua mikono yako, sema pamoja nami. Utukufu, heshima na nguvu. Ewe Yesu, pokea sifa. Mwambie Yesu, pokea sifa. Shandere bosi andere, mwabudu Yesu, mwambie pokea sifa. Inua tu mikono yako mahali ambapo ulipo siku ya leo, mwambie Yesu nastahili sifa. Twarora koreo torutete, twauga nemawe Ebeneza. Koreto naide hedeshade na ito tokinyetie etwauga na mane hinya waku. Yeah.
Thank you. Pokea Sifa. That's a beautiful song done by our sister, Pastor Pauline Lahel. Reborudha Kamuno Ruitagwo Pokea Sifa. And karibu sana. This is the Trumpet of Hope. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you had a good day. And we have come here to answer your questions on finance. And our guest is Robert Menja. He is just on standby. Nigetha agũcokerie ciũria ciaku ciothe iria ũrĩtie na iria ũkũria ũmũthĩ. This is a very special broadcast. I want to take this opportunity once again to welcome you and thank you for all your messages, especially because of the program that we did yesterday on the 2022 DV lottery or the green card applications, and I have received such an overwhelming report from that program. So many people want to learn more on that, and I told you the secret. It is open. Just go ahead and apply if you want to be in the US in the best way possible. So thank you so much, and for now, let us share this broadcast with our friends. We are live on our app. We are live on our YouTube channel, and also we are live on our Facebook. And our brother Robert Menja is all set to answer your questions. Those who asked questions on 401k, those who ask questions on investment, those who ask questions on life insurance, those who ask questions on benefits, the employer benefits. He is going to tackle all those things right now. And so it would be important for us to say that our question line is open, and I'm going to share with you his number shortly so that you can be able to ask him a question directly, and he'll be able to answer it right away on the Trumpet of Hope. Trumpet of Hope is here for you so that we can learn. So moja kwa moja to Oklahoma. Let's see what is happening right there with our brother, and I take this opportunity. Welcome.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Captain, and your viewers. I'm so happy to be here again today. I look forward to an awesome time together.
Thank you so much. I voted today. I don't know whether Oklahoma are privileged to have the early voting. In Texas, they started the early voting today, and I voted, and I felt very good.
Well, actually, Oklahoma, early voting starts October the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
That's a few days before the election day, and but now you can do mail-in voting, which I already did last week.
Awesome. That is very good.
Yeah.
That is very good. So generally, this is a very good opportunity to decide who your next leader would be. And does it affect in the issues of finance? You people who are in the finance sector, is there anything that we need to know as far as voting, elections, and money?
You know, it's very interesting. A lot of people ask that question over and over again. But if you can go back to the 1900, so 1900, we've had so many presidents. We currently have the 45th president, and regardless of who is in power, either Democrat or Republican, there might be a little bit of hiccup in the markets or in the money situation, but it all works out. So studies have shown that on average, the market return is about 11%, regardless of who is in power, whether a Democrat or Republican is in power. So people should not worry. This is a strong country. Whoever the people decide, it should be their leader, and that's the person that will be the leader. Your money will be okay. if you take the right advice and if you take the right positions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I hope that we are clear. I want to get a few comments from our viewers and our listeners, wherever you are. I want to know whether we are clear on YouTube. I want to know whether we are clear on Facebook Live. I want to know whether we are clear on the Trumpet of Hope app. And remember, we are here for you. In case there is any question that was not asked or answered last week, we're going to answer it now. And once again, for the new people who are watching us for the first time, this is Captain Jerry Jerry live on the Trumpet of Hope, and together with me is Robert Menja, and I want Robert Menja to take a minute and introduce himself officially.
Yes, thank you so much, Captain. Captain and I go way back. We went to the same high school in Kenya in the 90s. So we go way back. Personally, I'm originally from Juja. Grew up in Thika. Went to school in Jomo Kenyatta. Got my degree, and then came to the U.S. and got my master's degree in economics from Oklahoma State University. Married one wife, Eunice Menja, and have two daughters. Yvonne, who is our oldest, she's 22, and we also have our youngest daughter, Rita, who is 17. They're both in college now, so it's me and my wife in the house. So we are enjoying the calm before the storm. I've been doing this financial services for the last 12 years. I have seen a lot. I started when there was a huge economic downturn in 2009, when a lot of people were scared about what would happen. But we have helped a lot of people manage their money and save for retirement, protect their families, send their kids to college. And I think those are some of the things that we'll talk about today. And I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Last week we discussed so many issues, and I just want to get a minute and we remind people about the financial pyramid. And because that is one thing that came out so well. So can we start with a recap of the few things that we touched last week? Then we'll come and answer some of the questions that people have asked you.
Yes, and this usually applies mainly to individuals, but it also makes sense for businesses and companies. So if you're a business owner, this applies to you because ultimately, the reason why you wake up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning is to make sure that your family is taken care of and you leave a legacy. So the financial pyramid that we talked about, or GPS of your money, it's you think about a pyramid and or a triangle which is standing up. At the bottom there of that triangle is cash flow, or how you generate income, and then after that is risk management. So what does risk management mean? It means making sure that if a calamity happens in your family, if you're too sick and unable to earn a paycheck, that you have plans in place to take care of you. You have health insurance, you have income replacement plans in place. And then after all those things are taken care of, you have car insurance, you have your house insurance that are in place just in case a calamity happens. When those things are taken care of, then you jump into investing. And investing, the very bottom part of investing is making sure that you have at least, typically about 6 months of your expenses, monthly expenses, saved up, usually in a savings account, to make sure that in case there is a job loss like COVID situation, you're taken care of. And then the other one now is really you dive into investing. A lot of people are doing a lot of investing through their work, 401k plans and other benefits that their work provides. And then after that is when you start thinking about things like individual stocks, or real estate planning, or investing back in Kenya, because I know a lot of people love that.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So that's what we talked about last week.
Thank you so much. There were questions about. I don't know whether we'll start with directly to the people who sent questions to you, but I remember there were questions on 401k. There were questions on investing because of the children, and there were questions on the issues of life insurance. We go one by one.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. So let me start. Let me start with with where do you want to start? Where do you want me to start?
Let's start. Do we start with the life insurance?
Yeah, we can start with the life insurance. That's okay. So, and as I talked to Captain before, and I told him I'll have an aid to help me illustrate some of these things because some it's helpful at times and it's simple to understand what is going on. And I'll bring down my camera so you can see my table, and I will show
Yes.
you exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll continue talking while I do this. So down here, I have some nails, misumari. Can you see those?
Yes.
Yes. And these are 6-inch misumaris. Okay. And these 6-inch misumaris represent a few things, and I'll talk about them. But let's go ahead and do the whole experiment before I talk about what I want to talk about. And so, if I was to tell you, Captain, to balance all these nails on this single nail, would it be possible to do?
It will be very hard.
It would be very hard. So what would you need to know about the balancing of these nails on here to be able to know, to be able to balance them? It's a law of physics. Is that right?
Yes.
So you can balance one nail here, on top. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. It's possible to do one. But then the rest, we want all of them to balance on this single one on here. So if you know the law of physics, you'll be able to do it. And I will show you how. Now, these are just regular nails. It's all about arranging them in a certain order. And are you seeing this, Captain?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And your viewers, I hope they're seeing it.
I hope so.
Yeah. So you just arrange these nails on here using the law of physics. And the law of physics will help you out. Okay? And then all those nails will balance on this single nail. You think it's possible, Captain?
Not very certain.
You are not certain? Okay. All right, let's see. There you go.
Very good.
So, if you knew the law of physics, then you can be able to do that. Now, what do these nails represent? These nails represent the different. Let's talk about two nails for now. And let me come back to this in a minute. Let's just go talk about different types of life insurance. Let's think about that here in a second. We'll come back to it. So I use a very simple illustration that if you know the law behind or the principles behind what you're doing, you'll be able to do what is seemingly impossible to do. So coming back to life insurance, there are two main types of life insurance. There is temporary life insurance and there is permanent life insurance. Temporary life insurance, the way I like to think about it is temporary life insurance is like a house. When you rent an apartment, you're really it's what is equivalent to a temporary insurance. You get it for a period of time, like 10 years or 20 years, 30 years, and usually it's cheap. When I say cheap, or cheap is relative. It's not expensive, and the reason is most people are getting it to make sure that in the event of their premature death, their house is paid for, children still go to college, their debt are paid for, there's something left over for their family. So that's the simplest form of life insurance, which is term or temporary life insurance. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And the thing about temporary life insurance and permanent life insurance, you have to qualify for it. You just don't get it. You have to qualify for it. And the reason why you qualify for it is actuarial scientists do their math and they determine that myself, I'm a risk for $1 million, and somebody else may be at a different risk for the same $1 million. So I might be paying $500 for the million. Somebody else may be paying 2,000 because they are at a higher risk because of age or medical or other circumstances. The other one is permanent life insurance. Now, the permanent life insurance is very um, versatile. And I'll bring back my picture of these meals. So when we think about temporary life insurance, and I'll do the whole thing again. When you think about uh, temporary life insurance, it only does one thing. Okay,
Okay.
it pays for death when somebody dies, and that's about it. But when you think about permanent insurance, is insurance that will be there for the rest of your life. When you're 70, when you're 80, when you're 90. And we talked last week that the years of promise are how many? 70.
Yep.
You have 70 summers, or you have 70 winters, or you have 70, whatever the case may be, whatever
Yeah.
your favorite season is.
70
So
Christmases.
yeah, 70 Christmases, whatever that is. The rest is bonus. So permanent insurance is like when you buy a house. A lot of people in Texas, I know they own their own homes. There are two things that happen. You get the death benefit, and also over the years, your policy accumulates cash. The same thing with your house. When you pay down your house accumulates equity, and you can access that money for a variety of reasons. So a lot of people shy away from buying permanent a permanent policy because they think it's expensive. But when you think about it, I've been doing this for 12 years. My youngest client right now is a year old. My oldest client is 96 years old, and I've seen the whole lifespan. I have so many 50 years old, 70 years old that are saying, I wish I bought a permanent policy, because at that time they cannot get it. And the beauty of a permanent policy is it can help you start a business. The cash value over time can help you start a business, can help you pay for college. It can help you buy a first car. It can do a lot of things um, that a temporary policy cannot be able to do. You can also there is also, and I know a lot of people think about this, if you're terminally ill or you have a certain ailment, most policies allow you to access the death benefit while you're still alive to help you pay for medical expenses.
Sure.
And that's what we call accelerated death benefit. So you access, maybe if it's a million, you access 750,000 that will pay for your medical expenses and those kind of things. So I hope that clears out things. So both the term and the permanent policies, you have to qualify for it. They look at your medical history, they look at your age, they look at your other things, other factors in there. Your lifestyle factors a lot into the rating, and then you get a policy. And let me be very clear, Captain. This is the secret sauce for the US of A. Because think about it. On average, the average person earns, $60,000. How long are they going to take to accumulate $1 million? For 10 years is 600,000. 20 years, a million two. You can do the same through a life policy. And a life policy, if you're really thinking critically about transferring wealth to your heirs, and that's what happens. We attend so many matangas. I look forward to that day when we are going to a matanga and take flowers, and that's it. And not have to do these fundraisers. I attend so many of the locals matanga, and all we do is we take a tithe. And the reason why is they've already transferred this risk to a company, and a company will accept the risk for pennies on the dollar.
Very good.
Yeah.
There's this issue of having life insurance through the employer. And I know some people had asked, what is the advantage or disadvantage? Then there's the issue of saying, I don't need it because maybe I have something that I will mention, but it is not really an insurance, but it is just this benevolence, and I want you to insist on that. The other thing is, when do I start in my life? Is 50 years too late? Somebody asked me, she came here while she was 35. Is it too late to start investing in life insurance? And in the other question in that, I want you to ask how much money do I need in terms of life insurance?
So thank you so much for that question.
Actually,
The,
those.
yeah, those questions, and I'll start with the last one there. The amount, there is a recommendation that came out from when 9/11 happened, almost 20 years ago, that the average American should have at a minimum 15 times your income. And when you come up with that number might be a big number for you. You think, oh, that's if you're making 150, that's 1.5 million. And then we pare down on what you currently have saved. If you have saved significant amounts of money, uh, for say you have 150,000 you've saved up, you minus that from that number. So eventually, you come up with a number based on that. Okay. Now that's the simple way of finding out the amount. We have calculations that are available. I can send a calculation to whatever needs a calculation, that we can sit down and look at what do you have at work, and what are you needing, and what are you needing to cover, and then we come up with a number. But that simplicity of thinking about 15 times your annual income will get you there.
Okay.
Okay. Now the other one is the question of, I have a policy at work. Why do I need a private policy? There are so many reasons why you need a private policy, but I'll just talk about two or three. The number one reason why you need a private policy is, and this is a fact, the average American person, and when I say American, I'm talking about Kenyans who are living in the US, because this is primarily our audience. You stay at one job for 7 years, and then what happens? You
Later, you lose it.
you lose it. Whatever happens, you start over. And remember, you're not 21 or 22. You're still going up in age. So it's critically important to have your own policy, so that when you leave your one job, you're not starting over. You're not starting from square zero. And I have a really simple example that we can use. So, Captain, if Trumpet of Hope provides you with a company car, they fuel it, they take it to the car wash, but it's a company car. It has Trumpet of Hope on the sides. Would you still buy your own personal car?
Yes.
Why?
So that I can do my own private stuff.
Bingo. That's exactly why. You need a private policy so that it's yours. And oh, by the way, employer provided policies are limited to number of times your income, usually one time your income. So if you're making 60,000, the most you can get if it's a generous employer is probably twice your income. So 120,000. The other reason is most employer provided plans, and I say most, about 90% of them, they are temporary plans. So they do not have the extra benefit that a permanent policy would provide.
That is important. In that particular issue of insurance, can you mention something to do with beneficiaries and how they are protected even after one goes? I have had issues of people who have divorced or people who have had domestic violence and they
Yeah.
fight over life insurance because it is huge. And the issue of the benefits for terminal illnesses, I think there are all those other things that come with it. And somebody just asked a question here. I guess I'm putting all those questions. It's not right, but I'm putting all of them together. Then you can round them up into one basic answer.
Yeah.
What happens if you contribute for 15 years for life insurance, then you're not able to contribute anymore? What happens? Can you speak about something that they call either lapse or those issues?
Okay. Uh, yes. Let me talk about that. So for if you have a temporary policy, and I usually like to use examples that people are living by every other day. If you for whatever reason, if you fail to pay your rent, in an apartment, maybe the owner of the apartment will give you 3 months to pay up, but eventually, they will kick you out. That's the same thing that happens for temporary plan. But if you have a permanent plan, if you've owned it for 15, 20 years, 30 years, the policy has enough cash in itself to be able to continue even you without you paying for it. So that's a huge advantage about permanent contract. Say, 30 years down the line or even 20 years down the line, you're no longer able to pay for the policy. Most companies will allow you to use the cash inside the policy itself to pay for the policy and continue that way.
That is important.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention there is you asked about beneficiaries, and this is very, very important. If you're in a marriage situation, if you're married, or if you're in a trusting relationship, it's very important to have your loved ones be aware of what you're planning. So if you buy a policy, make sure your loved ones know exactly what you have, how you've named the beneficiaries, and that's, by the way, that's not a permanent thing. You can change beneficiaries anytime as long as you're the owner of that policy. You can change the beneficiaries anytime. Now, depending on the state in which you are, you can put your children, minor children, or children who are not in the age of the majority or below the age of 18 as beneficiaries. But then you need a guardian in the event of you passing on prematurely or before they hit the age of 18, so that those proceeds get to them as per your expectations. So those are things that people need to look at. Maybe they bought policies long ago, and then the person who is named as a beneficiary is no longer somebody they would want them to be a beneficiary, and that's really easy. You just call the company and have those names changed.
Thank you. Would you mention, we are coming to to conclude about that particular issue, and in
Yeah.
case our listener has any question, he or she is, I would request that you call Robert Menja directly, and he will be able to handle your private question as per your need. But please mention about the tax advantages of life insurances. Does it have any advantage on taxes? If, for example, I get a loan from my life insurance policy, or if I withdraw, maybe I want to go home and I want to withdraw, if I get a lump sum payment because of maybe a terminal illness, those riders that come with it,
Yeah.
how does the issue of a tax come in?
All life insurance proceeds are usually they go to their beneficiaries or heirs on a tax-free basis. Tax-free basis. Any life insurance proceeds will come to you on a tax-free basis. If you borrow against the policy, then usually there is an interest that is charged against the policy. But then if you pay back the policy, there is no tax consequences. If you surrender the policy, say the policy has 20,000 and you want to get access to some of that money, then you're taxed on some of that money. Not all of it. You're just taxed on some of it. Now, I wanted to give an example here because, people relate to examples. Do you have time for an example?
Yes.
Okay. We have say we have person A and person B. Now, I like to start with the end in mind. The end in mind is these people at age 65 or whatever the retirement age is. So person A has $1,000,000, or both of them have $1,000,000. They've saved up $1,000,000 and now they are ready for retirement at age 65. Now, person A only invested their money in an account that is based on what the market does. So it's based purely on the market. Person B did half and half. They did 50% or 500,000 on the market based, and 50% or 500,000 on a different strategy. Now, for you not to run out of money, and stop me if I'm getting in the weeds, for you not to run out of money, the economists out there, the people who have done this for many, many years, they recommend you not withdrawing more than 4% of your portfolio. So if you do 4% every year, you'll be drawing $40,000 from the 1 million to age 100 or whatever the case may be. If you do more than that, you're going to run out of money at age 90 or age 100 or whatever the case may be. Now, on the flip side, that's person A. They can only do 4%. On the flip side, person B can do exactly the same thing on half of his money. So they can do 4% on 500,000, which is what? 20,000 on that amount. The other half, they can do 10%. Okay? Guaranteed. So at the end of the day, person A has 40,000 worth of income in their retirement. Person B has 70,000 worth of income. Big difference. Same amount. Same amount of money. And these are some of the strategies that we help our clients understand and implement. That you can save, Captain, you can save $1 million. I save $1 million. When it comes time for retirement, I am withdrawing 70,000 when you're doing 40,000. And if you do more, you're gonna run out of money. And I'll never run out of money.
No, that is very good. So to conclude, our viewers, as far as life insurance is concerned, in case you have another question or in case there's anything that you need to know, you can communicate or liaise with Robert Menja, and he will guide you on the best way possible as far as life insurance. But closing remarks on that particular issue: it is important to have life insurance. It is important not to just rely on your employer's life insurance that is provided by your employer, because anything would happen. You would be fired, you can lose a job, anything can happen, and there is no guarantee that you will continue enjoying or benefiting there. And also, he mentioned about the amount. It's just too limited. And we can change positions or jobs. Once you have your own private one, then life becomes very easy. The issue of saying it is expensive or too much money, think about the scenario that he just gave, and that becomes very important. Anyway, I don't know. The second part of our the questions that people asked so much was the issue of a 401k. Do we get to that, or do we first of all deal with the ones who have children and they need to invest because of their children? Those two are hot topics.
Yes. Let me tackle the one for children, because I have college age kids myself, and we've been through that, and we are very we thank God, because and this is not unique to us. Having our kids getting scholarships that pay for your school is a huge blessing, but
Yes.
it's very common in our community. When I say our community, in the Kenyan community, because God has given us the uh, the um, the blessing of um, having the heritage of emphasizing education. So, most of our kids are doing really well, and I know some of the viewers here, they know their kids, they are A students, and that lends them to getting scholarships to Harvard, Stanford, all these Ivy League schools, even local colleges. So that's one. That does not stop you from planning. Um, I am currently working with parents whose kids are barely 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old, if you can imagine. That's how soon they start planning for their kids' college. And the reason is there is something we call time value of money. Time value of money is very important to understand that. So if you put in $1,000 and leave that $1,000 for 20 years in an investment, that $1,000 will be worth so much money than if you started 20 years later. And that's the power of compound interest. That money will grow so quickly if you start early enough. So as soon as the kid has their socio in hand, let's start talking about planning. And there are two ways that most of my clients do this, or the traditional way and the non-traditional way. The traditional way is you set aside money. That money is invested in the market, and that money is available for them to go to college when they turn 18. Traditionally, that's what we call a 529 plan, and those are available locally in states depending on your jurisdiction. So different states have different plans. There is one that is available and good for all states. That I recommend that because uh, parents may a kid may not go to your local college in your local state. They may decide to go elsewhere, so it's easier to use that one. Um, Now, the advantages of having that 529 plan is those monies, they grow, and they are designated for college only. So they can only use those monies for books, accommodation, tuition, room and board, college related expenses. Having a daughter that is almost senior, that is actually a senior this year, I know that college expenses are not just college expenses. There are other things. They belong to sororities. There are the living expenses. They want to, they are buying their car. They are wanting to get involved in the life of college, and that accounts for about 40% of the cost of attending school. So take it from me that you need something extra besides what you are saving for college. So what do you do? And you've only done, a 529. And oh, by the way, and I know I don't want to get in the weeds here, but if you have a 529 plan and you're wanting to apply for uh, college funding from the government, FAFSA, the FAFSA application, the 529 will count against them. They, that money will show up as money which is available for them to go to college. So if they had qualified for 40,000 and your 529 shows 20,000, they only qualify for 20. But if you have the alternative plan that has 40,000 and they qualify for 40,000, they'll get the whole 40,000. Okay, so what I do for most of my clients, we go 50-50. I just did that plan about 2 weeks ago for a client who has twins. So they did a 50-50 blend. One of them is a steady growth. You know, it's one of the steady growth. The other one is just up and down, up and down, up and down, but they function very, very differently. So the alternative is for paying for those expenses that I mentioned, buying their first car, usually about 5,000 when they're going to college, paying for their room decoration. You know, especially girls, they like their room decked out, which is like $1,000. You know, coffee in college is very expensive. It's actually more expensive than outside here. It's $5 a pop. I went to college. I was really shocked. That's how much money they charge them. You know, all those niceties. You know, they cost money. Nice clothes, shoes. They want to go out once in a while. If you have the alternative, if you have the two plans, it becomes very easy for your student to enjoy their college experience. So if you're there, if you're thinking about planning for college, start early as possible, as early as 2 weeks when your child is 2 weeks old. If your child is 10 years old, we can still do something, uh, but make sure that number one, you emphasize and pay attention to what your child is doing at school, because when they see that you're interested, you're attending all the PTA meetings, you're attending all those meetings, your student will see that you're vested in their education and they'll do very well. And they may get scholarships and never need to be paid for otherwise. But better plan, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
That is very good. I'm looking at some of the comments, and I know investing in the children is something that is very important. And since we must admit that we are no longer in Kenya, we have relocated and our children are here, they are going to school here, and so we must change the narrative. We must change how we did things. So you mentioned about a 529 plan. What other options are there in case? Do you have examples, specific ones that maybe people can look at? And I know if somebody has a question, he or she can be able to get to you. But maybe, in a nutshell, just give us a few examples. I know Jane Irongo, whom I respect so much, she's a scholar too, and she takes care of students. Sometimes even scholarships and grants won't meet the sticker price for higher education. College is expensive and will only get worse with the impact of COVID-19 and less federal and state funding. And she continues to say the 529 sometimes impacts the EFC and makes students to receive less from the government aid. I can't stress that more. That is important. So what are other options?
That's exactly what I was talking about. 529 has its advantages, but as Jenny Rongo, who is an educator, says, it has its major drawbacks, and those drawbacks they only happen when it's too late. When you've been doing this for 20 years, and then or 18 years, or 15 years, and then you're shocked by the fact that your student will not qualify for as much as they would have. 529s, they are really that's what it is, a 529 plan. So what you do is you can either go to your state state secretary of state, no, treasury's office in your state, and that's where the 529 plans are hosted. You go in there, and it's based on age. So if your child is 1 year old, they give you a menu of investments that are based on a child who is 1 year old, and in terms of aggressiveness, those investments are really aggressive. So in terms of they make good returns, and they move up and down with the market. And then as your child grows older, the the risk, or the risk profile of that portfolio decreases. So by the time they are 15, 16, even if the market goes up and down, their portfolio is not affected. So, that's what I can say about that. The other one is based on the life of the child, and there are many plans out there that are that pay dividends, and it's essentially, and I know this is a big shocker for a lot of people. It's a permanent policy that pays dividends, and those dividends, and the way I like to think about this is a traditional 529 is you plant a tree, fruit tree, moebe, a mango,
Corofea.
like there, you plant it, and the minute you get, or the year you get the first harvest, you cut down the tree. That's a traditional 529 plan. Okay, but if you have the alternative, you pick fruits for the rest of your life, because there is cash value that is building inside this policy, and it does not count against you when you're applying for FAFSA. The it does not count against you, so your child qualify for the whole amount, and those funds are not restricted. You can use those funds in the alternative plan, the permanent policy, for any expenses that are non-college related. That's very important. A lot, and I know it will take a lot of education for our people, because we don't have the benefit of our families living here and experiencing this.
Yeah.
But take advantage of us that are in the industry, and that we have seen people going through this, or some of us that have kids in college right now, that know exactly how these things work. That we can put ourselves out there and talk about these things in confidence and know exactly how it works. We have, my wife has talked about this before, Eunice Menja, about scholarship opportunities. She's a college advisor. So, and Eunice is a founder of CASP. It's a women's group on Facebook. We've been there, talked about scholarship programs, and how to access them. They're everywhere. So you can do three things at the same time. Plan, both a traditional 529 and a non-traditional plan, and also be searching for those scholarships and what it takes to get them. Three things, and your kid and you will be happy with their college experience.
Thank you so much. We are talking to Robert Menja, and Robert Menja, like I said, we are both old boys of Kanunga Boys High School in Kiambu. And I remember we came together during the reign of Rogedo.
Wow. Yeah.
Bwana Kimani, and it's not easy. I must say that It has been a long way. And we love the foundation. And if you need to talk to Robert Menja, that is his cell phone, and I will right away share the other number. Now, let's talk about the 401k. I know our time is almost up, but I have a few questions. One, the 401k, dig deeper in about
Yeah.
it. And there's something that Nicole Omoaura asked about how important is it to have a short and long-term disability insurance or AFLAC and such. I
Yeah.
think you can mention something about that because we talked about the other things. Do you want to
Yes.
answer this question?
Yes. I want to talk about the and the way I like to think about it is income replacement plan. Now, life insurance. A lot of people think about life insurance as a benefit for other people. Now, what Nicole is talking about there is a benefit for you, and a lot of people are selfish. If you don't love yourself, nobody will love you. So be selfish. Love yourself first. Such and especially if you're in an industry that pays, you're a highly compensated individual in the medical field, for example. If you're a nurse, if you're a medical professional, if you own your own business, if you run your own business and the cash flow of that business depends on you sitting on that chair and running the computer. If you're an anesthesiologist or CRNA, it's very important for you to have an income replacement plan because you're bringing in $15,000 a month. Your bills are based on $15,000 a month. What happens when your pinky gets, you break your pinky and you're not able to intubate your patients, for example, or you're not able, you injure your back and you're not able to serve your patients. What happens to that? Your employer will continue with your pay for maybe 6 months, maybe at best 6 months, and then you're on your own and you're not able to work. So it's critically important. And now, by the way, it doesn't take that much. You're looking at about, and I like to talk about percentages because they make sense and they are easy to understand. It takes about 3 to 4% of your annual income to cover your salary. And if you get this type of a plan, and Aflac is one of the companies that provides a plan. If you get a plan out there, a long-term plan that covers you for a long period of time, the benefits come to you tax-free because you're using after-tax dollars to pay for it. So, it's critically important to have that. And I know, as I said, we as immigrants suffer from the fact that we don't have people who came before us that have that experience to tell us, I've been there, I've done that, and this was my experience. But we don't have to live through it. You don't have to live through a horrific situation to understand it. You can live through other person's experience and make sure you implement some of these plans.
That is very good. And now we need to talk about the 401k.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot to discuss in this, but let us touch base in this and lay a foundation. And in case there is any question, then we'll be able to share your number once again for people to call you. And I want to say, tomorrow is a very special day on the Trumpet of Hope. We discuss matters of our own success stories. And guess what we have tomorrow? Last week we talked with Raf Akilondo, who is a business person in Atlanta, Georgia. Go back to the YouTube channel and type Raf Akilondo, and you will hear awesome story. of somebody who just came to the US and for over 20 years now, and he has been able to really do great things. Please type Raf Kilondu. That is RALPH and Kilondu, born in Machakos or in Cumberland, and doing great here. Kilondu, Kilondu. And especially if you have children and you want to learn a few secrets, a few basic secrets on bringing up your children until they are very successful here in the US. Tomorrow, our guest is Eunice Menja. We are camping in the Menja's house. So tomorrow, my guest for that particular program of One Voice Heroes in the Diaspora is Eunice Menja. So be sure to tune in at the exact time that we started this show. So let's talk about the 401k.
Yes, I happen to know Eunice Menja for many, many years. So, yes, 401k is one of the benefits of being employed by a good company. I'm not saying a company that does not provide a 401k plan is not a good company, but if your listeners are going to take anything from my talk today, this is it. This is worth 10% of is worth 10% return on their money every single day. This right here. So 401k plan was implemented when the pensions started going down. Pension is a deferred plan. So your company behind the scenes, they set aside money so that when you retire, they pay you that. That's very common with teachers. It's very common with fire departments. It's very common currently with fire and ambulance teachers, professors in universities. They still have pensions, but for the corporate world, the pensions have gone by the wayside. They were used to be very popular in the 90s.
Yeah.
Those were replaced by 401k plan. And a 401k plan is a situation whereby you set aside money, so much money every month or on an annual basis, and your company will match that money. Currently, the most you can do as an employee is $19,500. You can set aside $19,500 out of your money, and your company will match the whole of that, or they will match part of it, whatever the case may be. We have, especially the oil and gas companies, they've been very generous for many years, very good matching programs. But what I wanted to say is if you do not have, or if you're not participating in the 401k plan with your employer, tomorrow go see your HR and ask them to enroll you in their 401k plan. If you're, say for example, you contribute $10,000 for the year in 2020, for example, $10,000, and your company matches 5,000. So at the end of the day, you have 15,000 saved up for your retirement. If you did not do that, then you're leaving $5,000 on the table. Technically free money. And the company is doing that to incentivize you or to thank you for being a good employer. That's why the 401k is being there. And the extra $5,000 eventually becomes yours, or is vested after three years. So you have to be the employer for typically about 3 years. There are some that are longer, or there are some that you become immediately vested. In the medical field, if they really want you as an employee, that's part of their incentive. Whatever money they give you that year, you become vested immediately. So very important to be aware of that. And then what do you do once you have access, or you have access to the 401k? Every employer has a professional like myself that is embedded inside the 401k plan, and they are available to advise you on how to invest your money. One thing that you can do, you can post through it, so you can choose a plan which is based on your retirement age. Say you have 35 years to retire. You choose one that investments will go down in terms of risk as you get closer to retirement. So you can choose one of those, for example. But as I said, I cannot give specific advice here because we have a variety of audiences. We have people who are in different circumstances. We have people that understand maybe even better than me the 401k plan, and others barely not. So I cannot give specific advice. But in a nutshell, that's how a 401k works. Now, inside a 401k plan, you can the advantage of participating in a 401k is that money, if you contribute $10,000, that money is not taxable that year. It's not taxable until you start withdrawing the money. So you're getting a break of taxes on that money. So
Okay.
if you're not doing it, you're losing out on taxes, and also you're losing out on the matching. But if you don't want to pay taxes in the future, you can participate with what we call a Roth 401k. A Roth ROTH. Roth 401k is where you contribute funds. They are not deducted from your taxes this year, but then in the future, the growth in that money, say you put in 10,000, by the time you retire, that 10,000 has grown to 100,000. That 100,000 is not taxed because you already paid money on the seed. You're not charged tax on the harvest.
Awesome. Can you talk about the issue? I know we are 9 minutes past. Talk about the issue of I've worked in the U.S. and time has come for me to go back home, either after retiring or before retirement age. Can I withdraw my 401k and just decide I'm terminating it or I'm withdrawing it? I want to go home.
Well, so there are a few rules around when you can access the 401k plan and when the government will slap your hand when you withdraw that money too early. So just think about this age, 59 and a half. So 59 and a half is the earliest age where you can access your money without paying the 10% penalty. So withdrawing the money, not borrowing, because depending on the company you're working for, they will give you the ability to be able to borrow against the 401k plan. That's
Okay.
not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about withdrawing that money and taking it to Kenya or here. So if you do that before 59 and a half, besides getting taxed, so if you have 100,000 and you take the whole amount, you get taxed at your tax rate, which is maybe 25% plus 10%. So you're losing $35,000 because you withdrew it too early. So instead of getting your 100,000, you get 65. So instead of doing that, there are other ways of, and I've talked about this before. You start early, or obviously before you retire. You plan correctly and have alternative buckets of savings, so that you can access your money while you're still here, invest in Kenya, and your money is still growing here in the US. So you're using that single dollar, 2, 3, or 4 times instead of using it just once. And all that time you're compliant with the tax situation. And we've done it for many of our clients who are obviously Kenyans and that are investing in Kenya.
Good. Thank you so much, Robert Menja. You promised to do one more demonstration. actually 2 more demonstrations. So can I give you this chance so that you can do these demonstrations? And remember that we are going to have a gift to one of our listeners, and maybe somebody who will do such a beautiful comment on some of the things that we have learned in terms of are you financially bulletproof by Robert Menja. I think you need to write a book on that.
That's a really good idea. I would love to do that. And something else that I said, I would love to. There's so many of these things that we need to drill down. I'd love to do Zoom sessions with whoever is interested. Like 401k. What does it mean? Let's drill down. Life insurance. What does it mean? Let's drill down. College planning. Let's drill down. We can do an hour session on Zoom if we have interested parties, and then we can look at their demographics. We can look at their interest points, and then we drill down based on that aspect. So I'll just go back to the example that I did first, but this one will be very specific for the life insurance I was talking about. Let me bring down my camera here so that we have newer viewers. And Captain, you'll be able to choose who this example will apply to. I'll send this demonstration to any of the person that you choose. I'll allow you to choose viewer here. So let me do it again. So when you think about a life policy, you only think about that life policy doing one thing, which is death benefit, and it benefiting your heirs. These are your heirs, and the life insurance only does one thing. Okay? Just one thing. But if you knew that there are other things that the same policy can do, you can pay for college, you can pay for your first time car, you can borrow against it and build a nice house in Kenya. You can use it as a retirement vehicle or supplement your retirement. You can use it to pay for your kids' wedding if you have girls. Because that's what we do. We pay for weddings for girls. I don't know, Captain. I think we need help with that. Huh?
We need help. We
need help
really
with that.
need help.
Yeah. You can pay for a down payment of a house. Same thing. It's doing all those things. And then it balances on the same chassis of a policy that we only thought in our mind it can only do one thing. It can do all these things. And it balances.
That is very good. So
It
the
balances.
choices was one.
Now we have numerous choices. Just because we understand.
It can pay for it can pay for education for you and for your children. You can pay mortgage. You can do all these things that Robert mentioned. Wow.
Yes. Now, Captain, it's up to you to. I want to send this thing to one of your viewers. This wooden thing and the nails, so that they can use this as something they can remember what we talked about today. So choose one of your viewers and I'll mail it to them. Somebody in the US, obviously.
Yeah, actually, when you mentioned that, Duta wa Nyairungu, a friend of mine, is in Canada, and she's asking whether 401k is in Canada too, or is it only in America?
I don't know. I don't know about Canada.
So you have some assignment there, Robert, because now you have one of my very special listeners based in Canada. Maybe you can help her on how to do investment and to be financially bulletproof in Canada.
Yes.
Now, This is very good. Nyam Nyams just came in. I guess she was, this is a business person. She's a business person. And maybe you'll mention something about the business, the Kenyans who are doing business. And Joki Kijo says atumiwe. Martin Jerry, Martin Wajereriga send it to me. There's Nancy Wairimo here. I want to see if you need that demonstration kit. Tell me. This is important. Mwariwawa Home is asking whether the Zoom sessions will be free. And I'm very interested about that because that is one of the best ways to educate our people. And I have given you the Are You Financially Bullet Proof? And that is something that we need to have copyrighted so that you can write the book, and down there you'll say by Robert Menja, and we will talk about all the things that we have been able to talk. You put them down there, and we are going to buy your book.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. So the question is whether the Zoom sessions will be free.
Yeah,
The
Home is asking that.
the only thing that I hope that the people that will be attending the Zoom sessions is that they will have an open mind. That's all I'm asking. They will probably be an hour long, and I want to say I'll have, depending on the where people are, maybe you can have once a week, or maybe two sessions in a week, an hour long, and we can really dive down on those things. I can share my screen and show you a whole lot more on things. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, Captain, is I'm very passionate about businesses, and especially the small businesses. I know, and I've talked to a lot of Kenyans that own tracking businesses. They're trackers themselves, or they own a dispatch company. They own home health businesses, very popular home health businesses. They own staffing agencies. They send nurses. They have travel nurses. I'd like to send them a book, Actionable Ideas for Businesses. And it's a really easy read, and it talks about leadership, personal growth, business planning, business finance. Right there on page 34, business finance. And what does it talk about when you talk about business finance? It talks about, is your business correctly registered? Is it an LLC? Is it an Inc? Is it properly structured so that you're maximizing the benefit to yourself and to your employees? This book talks about a lot of things. It talks about marketing. It talks about social media, and I can either send it a hard copy, or I prefer sending PDF, because then you have it on your computer and you can open it anywhere.
Awesome.
So if any of your viewers are interested in this book, Actionable Ideas for Businesses, I'll send it there. It talks about a lot of things.
Yeah, I see. I have some of them were in business. I just talked about Martin and Ruth. They doing business in California, no, in Pennsylvania. And I know that it is also in that issue that we speak about the benefits for businesses that are owned by the females or the women or the minorities, and getting all those things done right. So if you need that book, then you can talk to Robert Menja. The cell phone is down there, 405-600-8498. And he will be able to organize that. Now, the Zoom sessions, I would request that Robert, remember, I have a lot of confidence in this because we went to the same school, and he has been doing this now for over 12 years, and he has done so well. And the Zoom sessions, you can liaise with Robert Menja personally, and then you organize. And once you organize, then you can, if at all you want us to come in, we can be able to broadcast that on our channel. That will be okay. But liaise with Robert Menja, call him, and once you organize that, I'll be very, very much ready to facilitate whatever is needed. If at all you need a personal session for your finances, because as Robert said, you can have a desire of investing in the stock or in the forex, but is your the ground? What do you call it? The
The
base,
foundation.
the foundation of the pyramid. How is it? Is it stable? Have you taken care of the risks before putting your money into the stocks? Have you taken care of the foundations? So everything becomes personalized. So go to your phone, call Robert Menja, and organize for this. How much does the book costs? Is it the book? Jerry Coco interested in the Zoom. Joe Key Joe interested in the Zoom. I think
Yeah.
Grace, the Zoom session will be greatly appreciated. Now you see. The only thing that we do is that down there we'll be putting the disclaimer, or rather an appreciation courtesy of the Trumpet of Hope.
Trumpet of, yes, yes, definitely. And by the way, the book is free of charge. It's courtesy of Trumpet of Hope for allowing us to do this. There is no cost to. It's let's see, 100 and it's 153 pages. It's a really easy read for you. If you're especially a business owner, you'll be surprised at the nuggets that are in here. It's phenomenal. I've used it. I've given it to so many of my business clients, and they love it. And
Oh,
it'll
yes.
be a PDF. So if you can text me your email address and your name, I can definitely send it out.
This is awesome. So you can send your text message down there, 405 and 600 8498, and right there, a Trumpet of Hope, courtesy of Trumpet of Hope, and that way. And guess what? You will not get the book if at all you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel.
There you go. There you go.
Let's put that one as
A condition.
a provision.
Yeah.
Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Trumpet of Hope, and once you do that, you put the notification bell down there so that you'll know other things that we do. And then Robert was my boss in Kanunga High School. He was my boss in Kanunga High School. I had somebody who was talking about investing. She wants to learn about investing in stocks and the forex. And she is based here in the US. I know she's somewhere listening. And I told her, hey, I'll give you Robert. He is going to guide you 1, 2, 3. If he doesn't answer your questions direct, he knows somebody who knows somebody.
And that's it. By the way, I'm not a jack of all trades. I know if I don't know a solution, I have a big team that I can reach out to. Very people that have done very well for themselves, and they're experts in their areas. And I'm just by myself here, obviously presenting, but I have a team of competent people that we work with, and you'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. And especially if you want to change the trajectory of your family's financial situation, make sure you are financially bulletproof.
Thank you so much. I don't know how many people have already sent a text message, a WhatsApp message. I know Eunice Meja is somewhere taking care of that. We want to know the people who have already sent the message that they want the book. And for the Wangeshi Rachel, I know you're going to ask to get to Robert so that he can guide you on that particular issue. That is very, very important. On the issue of the model, the issue
That's
of the
Captain
model.
who's choosing that. You choose that, and I send it to them.
On the issue of the model, who requires or who needs the model? That's a very important one. And why should you get the model? Let me know. Why should we give you this model?
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
and it will come with so many other benefits out of it.
Yeah,
So just
if you
yeah,
have
tell
the
me
book,
something. It will
yeah,
have the book.
if you have the book, it will have something surprising as well. So you have the book at a minimum.
So tell us, why do you need the model? Why should we send it to you? And we are going to do that right away. So thank you so much, Robert. And the text for the book, the number is 405 600 8498. That is 8498, and you can get it right away. And
Yeah,
I know.
I can see texts are coming in. Yeah,
Oh, you can see texts are coming, eh?
yeah,
Yeah, we're going to look at that. We're going to be very happy while working on it. So for that model, we are going to send it to one of the pillars of the trumpet of hope, and that will be good. We're going to send it to one of the pillars of the trumpet of hope, and I want us to send it to Martin. Martin, let me tell you why I spoke about Martin. When I started, or when I had the dream of starting a radio station, I had gone through so much, so many challenges. I talked to Martin, actually, through the wife, that is Ruth, who I knew first. And this couple sponsored and supported me so much emotionally and financially. And sometimes when I thought of I need to go and drive a truck, or I need to go and work somewhere else and forget about this whole ministry, Ruth would call me and tell me, hey, we are going to make it. And you know, she has a smiling face. She will always smile even when things are so hard. She'll always tell me with a smiling face, we are going to make it. And so she's a businesswoman and supported by the husband, and it becomes very good. They have become pillars of the trumpet of hope from day one, and up to this minute they have continued to support me so much. And on behalf of all the other pillars of the trumpet of hope, can we, since we cannot be able to mention everyone or to give to everyone, then I propose that direct Martin, and I know that it comes with a lot of benefits too, because I know on that side all my issues are well taken care of.
very good, very good. So send me the details of Martin, his address, where I need to send it, and I'll take care of it.
Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you. We are so honored. So to close and to wind up, I don't know, what are your closing remarks? What should we carry home?
Yes. Again, thank you so much, Captain, for giving me the opportunity to be here today, and for your listeners. It's not easy to be in a foreign land, which we are in a foreign land, and to find things that are already in place, and for us to leave everything we have, our norms, our cultures, our way of thinking, and adapting this new way of thinking and running with it. But guess what? There are so many people that have come here and have been very, very successful. And the reason why is because they found and implemented strategies and were able to balance all these nails on this single nail. They were able to do it because they were willing and able to learn what it takes to be slow and steady. Because people are so used to chasing the next most shiny object,
Sure.
and you tire. You get tired by chasing the most shiny object because you know somebody is saying this, and you run there, and then you find out it's a dead end. You run there, you find out it's another dead end. But let me say this: if you are systematic and if you're intentional in your planning, you are going to be successful. And there is nothing more fulfilling to see, or to see yourself as having impacted somebody else's life. I've been here a couple of times, and I'm going to be remiss if I don't mention the ministry that my wife and I started about 13, 14 years ago. We have, through the efforts and the benefits of maybe some of your listeners, we support about 50 orphans in Moranga, and we have had some of those kids for more than 10 years under our care. Now we get numerous financial support from well wishers here in the US, and we send it there. I'm so proud of the fact that some of those kids, we got one of them when she was 3 years old. Now she's 16, 17, doing very well. She's top of her class in Kenya. She might be a doctor one day. She might be an engineer one day. She might be a business person one day. All what I'm saying is find your purpose in life.
True.
Your purpose in life. That will make you wake up at 4 in the morning. And at the same time, don't forget to have fun. Make sure you have some fun, because, hey, it's worth having fun. When you live this life, it's worth having fun.
Yeah, that's good. I saw you on the Facebook cycling, and I was like, oh my goodness.
You have to take some time and have fun. Yes, this world, this US is so beautiful. That was in Corpus Christi. We took 3 days, and we went there to Kengia Kamaji. Cycled, and we came back. So beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. I also want to mention to those who are the pillars of the Trumpet of Hope, who always support us in this ministry. Robert Menja is give us another gift, and it is important to say, if you're there and you have your business, or you need to have some issues fixed in terms of registration, then he is the best person to do it. If you have had issues with your finances and you need it streamlined, this is the person to do it. So he is in the process of working on our ministry, and I'm so happy, Robert, for that. Eunice Major and Mr. Major, please come back again with Mr. and Mrs. Diangui. That campus talk was very educative.
I remember that. Yes, I do remember that.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
So we are going to switch talk with Eunice Major tomorrow when she comes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much again. It was such an honor, and remember to send me the details of the person who get this gift, and
Yeah.
look forward to reporting back to you when we start the Zoom sessions. I see a lot of text messages coming in.
Yes.
We'll have a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I want to conclude this. Thank you to all the pillars of the Trumpet of Hope. I always like putting that for the support of the Trumpet of Hope. That is our CFO's number, and the M-Pesa number is down there. In case you need to support the Trumpet of Hope in any way, that becomes very, very good. Tomorrow, same time, same place, same great station, we'll have the One Voice Heroes, where we listen to the story real life stories of our Kenyans in the diaspora who have done great things for their families, for their children, and even for the society. Our guest tomorrow is none other than Mrs. Eunice Major, the lady behind that smile right there. So we are camping in Oklahoma. So I need all the Oklahoma team right here. Thank you so much, Robert. I wish you a very good night and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
Attitude of a Great Child is a book that will change your child's attitude and make them great. It will make parenting easier by helping your children be positive thinkers and nurture their greatness in them. By reading this book, children will maximize and live to their full potential. Children will be confident to walk in their success and greatness. It is by reading this book that your child will acquire the characters and qualities to make them succeed in life. Let your children learn to confess is to possess, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is a book to buy for your kids, grandkids, nephew, nieces, or any kid you know so that you can change their destiny. Owning and reading this book is an investment that will benefit and change this generation and generations to come. The Attitude of a Great Child is available at lulu.com.
Thank you so much. That is a book, Beatitude of a Great Child. It's written by Mary Mboro. I say that that is another great pillar of the trumpet of hope, and also it is important for us to promote our very own. This book is available and it can be mailed to you, or you can buy it direct on Amazon, and you will be able to help your child. Let's listen to this again.
Attitude of a Great Child is a book that will change your child's attitude and make them great. It will make parenting easier by helping your children be positive thinkers and nurture their greatness in them. By reading this book, children will maximize and live to their full potential. Children will be confident to walk in their success and greatness. It is by reading this book that your child will acquire the characters and qualities to make them succeed in life. Let your children learn to confess is to possess, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is a book to buy for your kids, grandkids, nephew, nieces, or any kid you know so that you can change their destiny. Owning and reading this book is an investment that will benefit and change this generation and generations to come. The Attitude of a Great Child is available at lulu.com.
All right, do your orders and that will be good. And guess what? I just saw the author right there. Hi, Mary. How are you? I hope you're doing all right. I didn't know that you're somewhere there. You're doing a very, very good job, and we are so proud of you. So make your orders and get this a book. Yeah, that is a Mary Boro. Na niwe yoshirona bisaineo. Actually, I think this cover picture was taken at the same time. And you can tell that she knows exactly what she is doing. Beatitude of a Great Child. Can you buy this book for your daughter? Can you buy this book for your son? Can you buy this book for your kids at work, or for the kids in your church, in your Sunday school, or in your in those groups that you go to? Buy this book and it will be good. Hey, we have to support the pillars of the trumpet of hope in whatever they do. And what is the name of the book? Idawaga Duru, a Beatitude of a Great Child. There. Let me see. That is the book, A Beatitude of a Great Child. Let me see. A Beatitude of a Great Child by Mary Mboro. Yes, there we are. You can see that is the book. Listen to this that way. I'm using my shared screen. You can.
Child is a book that will change your child's attitude and make them great. It will make parenting easier by helping your children be positive thinkers and nurture their greatness in them. By reading this book, children will maximize and live to their full potential. Children will be confident to walk in their success and greatness. It is by reading this book that your child will acquire the characters and qualities to make them succeed in life. Let your children learn to confess is to possess, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is a book to buy for your kids, grandkids, nephew, nieces, or any kid you know so that you can change their destiny. Owning and reading this book is an investment that will benefit and change this generation and generations to come. The Attitude of a Great Child is available at lulu.com.
Thank you so much for that. We are concluding our show. Just about to conclude our show. Thank you so much, Mary. I'm so proud of you. And say hello to Pastor and the children. Say hello to my friend Paris, and say hello to all the others. My uncle up there, ukiongea na Mudhekis, wherever they are. Thank you so much, Anastasia and Jerry. Anastasia and Jerry in Dubai. Jerry Koko, asante sana. Triumph the Terry, thank you so much. Nyam Nyams, asante sana. Feeling so honored. Thanks, Captain. Welcome, my sister. Morgan Wanjohi, Eunice Major, Triumph, Anastasia and Jerry Koko, Shiko Mwenyeri, Tabe Moreithi, asante sana. Umenitupa na namna gani? Say hello to my other brother, Davido. Mwambia tulize. Gilbert Wabogo, thank you so much. Nigoko Akira, Alice Koirothothi, asante sana. Mwariwa Wahome, Winnie Price, thank you so much. How are you, my dear? I hope you're doing all right. Modogo to Gilbert Wambogo, Rose Kangara, thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you have enjoyed this show. I know there was the question from Canada, my friend Dutawanya Irogo, and I know you will come here and give your testimony because you have such a testimony. And Jen Irongo said, talk to Esther Hadasa Wakamunya. She is in Canada and very well versed in this area. She is a certified financial planner. That is very good. Thank you so much, Mudogito Jenny Rongo, for always being here and giving us tips that go very far. They take us far, Jenny Rongo. And by the way, Jen Irongo, yesterday I spoke about the issue of a green card application, and I said there were so many questions about Canada. And in case of anything, or rather, if you have somebody who can give us more insight on the issues of Canada, then I wouldn't mind hosting such a person specifically to tell us about the avenues of relocating to Canada. And I think that is important, the avenues of relocating to Canada. And I think that is important. To close our program tonight is my friend Charles Egishoke. He's going to conclude our show, and we'll meet tomorrow. Same time, same great station. So we are going to meet again tomorrow, and we are going to have a great show again tomorrow on this very, very great station, the Trumpet of Hope. So God bless you so much. Have a good night. Tomorrow our guest is Eunice Major. We are celebrating the One Voice heroes. These are Kenyans in the diaspora who are doing extraordinary things. So Eunice Major will come and give us her story from where she came from, where she was born, where she went to school, and how she came to the US, the things that she has been doing. And she's going to be of great help as far as children and college choices concerned. She'll tell us about the children's home that they founded and how they have been doing it. She'll talk about domestic issues. She'll talk about the issues of depression, the issues of out of real life experiences. So thank you so much. Make sure that you tune in to more Raw. Thank you so much. Hey, ni nego thie ndirathie riu nigetha thi na mbere na kwamba hema nyamnyams ndathi kuruga ngima. Thank you so much. By then nyamnyams niwe wa mbere kunyenderia thuti Nyairobi. She's a very dear person to me. Na hindi kwa jarimwe ni gwakoragwo kwina thina. So she used to sell those wonderful suits. Ndathie kunyuaga cai. By the Jen wa mucene kuhana atia Boston. I hope you're doing good. Wageci Recho ndathie kunyuaga cai. I have to take a chai, and I have one meeting that is coming up in the next few minutes. I have a meeting that is coming up in the next few minutes, and I have to facilitate a training somewhere on servant leadership, and the people are waiting to for me to facilitate that. I'm training people on servant leadership, which was my favorite training at Grand Canyon University, where I went for my master's. So I have to go and train others on servant leadership, and that is something that is coming up shortly. So I have to prepare and ndegekiraga thuti tondu no akiona muthe ndiuma na kindu gitagwo ndiuma na gathuti kana nyendete ndiuma na gito. Na nenyuma guikia kura, by the way. I did it in Texas. We have the early voting, and also in your state, afanya hivyo. If at all there is the mail-in ballot, that's okay. And if you don't, if you have issues with it, each you can decide to go and vote in person, early voting, if your state opens. I know there are some long lines or queues, but you better you better make that queue, but decide on the next 4 years of, not actually 4 years. We are talking about the next very many years, because the next 4 years means a lot as far as security, internal security of this country is concerned. It means a lot on diplomacy and the way the country relates with other nations. It means a lot as far as immigration is concerned. It means a lot on the issues of insurance and all these things. We must make sure that we participate in the vote, and whoever wins, you know that you took part. Lakini hakuna haja ya kusema he won and or he lost and you never took part in the elections or in the voting process. Anwashuka, thank you so much. Anwashuka Karanja, she is based in Saudi Arabia. She's a great person, my fan. Adhikagereria de shoromia keo. I remember the program that she listened, yetagwo gurumoka, akigurumoka na mambo ikawa mzuri. So thank you so much, Anwashuka Karanja. Got mine, congratulations. It's good to support one of our own. Thank you so much, Nyamnyams. Nyamnyams, you know, I'm so proud of you. So tuendelee vivyo hivyo. Idhawaga through, I hope you're doing all right down in Seattle, Washington. We need to talk. Umenitupa sana. Connie Shompa, thank you so much. I hope that you have been here. If you have not listened to our program, then you need to go back to it and listen to what we were discussing. Otherwise, God bless you. Have a very good night wherever you are. Let me go and do whatever whatever I'm supposed to do. And in case of anything, I'll come and do a show on Tuesday. On Wednesday next week. On Tuesday next week, same time, on Tuesday next week, I'll be hosting Paul Waigajo. Paul Waigajo, the musician. Paul Waigajo niwe ogakore mugeni wakwa next Tuesday, same time. So let's prepare for that. That's a big show. And next week on Tuesday, Paul Waigajo will be here. Paul Wakate, thank you so much. Let's start a watch party. Dino Kete, we are going to start a watch party right now and listen to the topic that we just had. The watch party is starting right now, so that we can listen to the topic. Mary Boro, thank you so much, and I wish you the very best. Have a very good night.
Nidute itua kwe amurani anade digo tuarana na otaro are aganu dikorogama te siara mehagia Yeti doine Kare ate dine darega Dogo kena nione awe na mediera mekinya neru Urogera gajera yakerera ke Jehova Goro yake yode ikamorogoria Nadekaga waganu ona ureko Weda mediera yakwa etuike mekideru Madani maku de mafara gerere Joka gegado na gora no gereru Na mudanya wasira ni ediga sonoka
Ashadi korogama Digotoarana
Agigana medira mederu atea Otiga me menyerere kurigana na uge waku Ni gorogoretie na goro ya koyote Dukana reke jage dige madani maku Uge waku dadi Nidewo igete deine wa goro yakoa Dikana ego kwehia Jurano na moyo Otuko na modenya Goro yako nawe nyotagera Woi dadi Dukana nyume moyo Nebete itua Kwe amurani anade
Ashadi korogama
Igotoarana Captain